All right, let's get into it. So someone recommended me this guy named Brendan O'Connell III, an Australian, a truther, I guess you could say. Somehow is still on YouTube. That's kind of amazing to me, which already makes me question things. He's another one of these Bill Cooper sort of guys who's just like, American Jewish small business owner beat the goys. And he's talking about Louis Rossman. It's like, okay, he's taking on the government, this and that. And it's just, it gets so tiring. It's just because, of course, then he's like, well, Assad is bad. They're just as bad as Saddam Hussein, this and that. Most of those people that were fighting in Syria are Syrian nationalists trying to overthrow a Soviet regime, a Soviet-backed regime. It's just, I don't have the energy to argue with people like this. I don't have the energy to fight back against this. I've gone numb to these sorts of things. The thing is, you can go ahead and say Assad is bad, this and that. And I have done videos. Hold on. Is everybody fucking broken? All right. What's going on? It gets so tiring. Hold on one more moment. All this sort of, if Assad did this, and the thing is that he is correct that, it's all predestined at this point, and it's all pre-planned, and we're all just gerbils going through a maze. Yeah, I agree with him on that. But the thing is that he wants so bad not to, I'm not anti-Semitic. I'm anti-Zionist. I support, leftist Jews in the United States and all this. It's just, I don't even know anymore. It's just so fucking tiring. It's just so tiring. Because you don't know what to believe. It gets so muddled. It gets so dirty that you don't know what to believe. Yeah. U.S. fingering itself. Well, my topic is basically just about the contradictions that exist within these folks. And maybe it's wrong for me to get at these types of folks like Brendan O'Connell III, who feels like, who has a Patreon. And yeah, good for him for, Tildy O'Connor is that he's a truther nut, constantly talking about the Talpiot program. These people are insane. I don't even think he's insane. Once again, I try to be very careful with language like crazy or insane. You can go ahead and think they're insane. I don't think they're insane. I just think they're full of crap. And I think that folks like him are just so obsessed with not being racist or prejudiced and not being anti-Semitic that they will do whatever they can and say, I'm anti-Zionist. I don't. When saying, Iran is really working with, this country or that country and this, and that, it's just, It's one of those things like, okay, who are your real allies then? Who are your actual allies? You know, this is the whole thing that I don't get. It just feels like no matter, even if there was a revolution, it feels like nothing would change. And that's a dangerous thought, but I feel like that's what's going to occur. Um, Israel owns Microsoft, Windows Security. Who knew? Someone recommended me this guy, and I'm like, should the U.S. invade Israel? Bruh. The thing is, like, okay, yeah, go ahead and get at Whitney Webb. Go ahead and attack other folks. That's fine. But it's like, I don't know. It's just so tiring to see all this sort of stuff. It's tiring. You know, when you dig into all these things, like, okay, you know all this information. What are you going to do about it? Teach other people. That's all they can do. Teach other people, man. Spread the message. It's like, yeah, I can disagree about COVID, and I can even agree with largely of what these folks say. Yeah, obsessive is the best adjective for O'Connell. Yeah, a lot of these folks are, you know. He can go ahead and get at James Corbett. It's like, yeah, I don't agree with Corbett either. He's just another libertarian who's in Japan who acts like, yeah, it's truth mixed with junk. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Yeah, I just, it gets tiring. I know I repeat myself. I'm sorry. I'm hugely autistic and just, I don't know. I need to do something to get my mind off it. I've got a couple days of work left, and I'm just so tired. Anywho, I think it gets so, the contradictions that exist in this world are deep, and to a point, ignorance is bliss, and that includes for revolutionaries. I think it's easier to believe that, yeah, someone's a great leader versus this and that versus realizing that they're a shill for somebody else or whatever the case may be. It's like, oh, the Soviet Union got money from, Trotsky got the money from, the U.S. or something like that. But then when talking about January 6th, they're like, oh, it was awful. This, it's like, well, what the fuck do you guys want? It gets so tiring. And you're just like, these guys don't expect it to make any change. You know? I don't know. At this point, it's just like I would rather join like the lumpen proletariat and join like, you know, just folks that live on the edge. I'd rather join them than join any sort of organized group and continue to pay people's Patreon. People like this Brendan O'Connell III guy, you know? It's like, why would you waste your time and money? You know? Because they're not going to tell you to do anything. All you can do, it's like that these folks will go on and on talking about, oh, the Prussian schools and how they taught things and everything else. That's how they do in the United States. They learn from the Prussians. Wow. And you sound just like the same, you repeat that same thing over and over. Oh, we homeschool our kids, this and that. Okay. Good for you. Most people don't even remember what goes on in school. That's the whole thing. People are so stupefied at this point that they don't even know what's going on. So I don't even know, man. It's just I'm just a little upset because one of those things where it's just like when you work 40 hours a week over and plus, and you feel like you don't really get that much respect at home. You're just like, okay, you got to take care of it yourself. And it's just like but that's a whole other issue. I'm just so frustrated. And I know it's not going to change. I know it's going to suck wherever you go. So it's just like I might as well suck it up here and make do. The contradictions that exist in this country and around the world are everywhere. It's just something you have to accept. Screw it. I'm gonna go ahead and read this thing. I was gonna make another video about the Sassoons in China, but I figure I'll do it here. So I'll just read some excerpts of this. And this was written by none other than Arnold Leese. Yes, that Arnold Leese, the guy who broke away from Mosley in the UK. I'm gonna skip the stuff about including some no words, but yeah. Let's see here. The J-word rotting of China. It was a Sassoon family who turned the normal Chinese dislike and distrust of foreigners into hatred. David Sassoon made the opium trade in China from 1832 until he died in 1864. His family carried on the trade under our flag and made huge fortunes. The British took the blame, and now the Chinese loathe us, just as we took the blame for the Jewish atrocities at Nuremberg. Okay, yeah. Let's be careful about that. We won't go too far. But backed by the Sassoons, the Shanghai opium monopoly existed until 1917 under Edward Ezra, its managing committee being composed entirely of redacted and Indians. Aryan aristocrats, royalty petted them, and yeah. This guy still supported the crown, by the way, so he was kind of a larper. Freemason Sun Yat-sen began his revolutionary movement at Canton. The redacted Morris Cohen, a British subject, aide de camp. Muasha, the Soviet Jacob Borodin. I'm just reading this now, but yeah. 1923, the notorious redacted Trebitsch Lincoln, ex-MP in Britain, headed a Chinese mission to get arms for Wu Peifu, a warlord with a fine character but failed probably purposely in the attempt. Soviet General B.K. Galen, who was really not just a okay. Let's go ahead and skip to the okay. Oh, okay. This is already done. Okay. Let's see here. Enough has been said to prove the real key position in the process of the Bolshevik destruction of China has been redacted. We know what they mean. Lastly, we remind our readers that Chiang Kai-shek himself is a Freemason, having reached the 33rd degree in the Scottish Rite. So the thing is, I mean, I feel like, yeah, cool opium wartime. Yeah, David Sassoon, the opium merchant. Yeah, people think January 6th was bad. Wait till we see what happens when when we lock back down. Dudes think the collapse of the Soviet Union was bad. Wait and see. Exactly. Oh yeah, absolutely. People will give support and say that basically the Sassoon family and other families are the ones that have really backed China. And the thing is, of course, I don't disbelieve that. I'm not going to disbelieve these things. But the thing is that, China will get swallowed up like the United States will. Is that they're on the, the upcoming high. It's just one of those things where it's like, okay, if everything is a conspiracy. The longest time when I heard Sassoon, I thought of Vidal. Yeah, me too. I did too, yeah. You learn that Anglos are raised in a monarchist society so that even guys like Oswald Mosley still buy into the monarchist system. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I think the the fact is that it's all a conspiracy. Maybe I've finally come around. A lot of folks say that, conspiracies exist, but I don't even know. It's just, I'm tired of being manipulated. I am. I'm tired of being manipulated and put down this road versus that road. And it's just like, well, it all leads to the same thing, doesn't it? It all seems to, anyway, where it's just like, mandatory vax of government and some private business will accelerate the process of the fall. Absolutely. Absolutely. I do agree. What will replace the United States, though? What will replace it? I don't know. That's the question, isn't it? What will replace it? I get so tired of it. And just trying to pretend to fight about these things. And you realize that it's all just to keep you in a maze. Yeah. Western Europe is my guess. Yeah. Laudanum was common back then in the Old West. Opiates are part of human history. Yeah, exactly. Yep. It's true. It's just about the excess use of these things. Yeah, I agree. I think that people are going to do, China and Russia will replace the USA. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I was just going to say what's going to replace the federal government, I guess, but yeah, Western Europe, just kind of separate countries, this and that. I do think that's what's going to happen. Yeah. U.S. is Germany, 1945. Oh, I agree. I do agree on that. I absolutely agree. The U.S. is just sort of barely hanging on, I think. Yeah. Yeah, just finished a text war with an evangelical friend of mine who thinks we should still have hope for America. Oh, Lord have mercy. Oh, that poor deluded fool. Oh, man. Learn, what I would tell y'all, in all honesty. Learn Mandarin. Russian, I don't know, but definitely Mandarin to a point. And I would just say learn to take your loyalties with a grain of salt. I would say take it with a salt mine, as a matter of fact. To me, people are fickle. People are hypocritical, of course. Funds most of the dissident movements. Oh, absolutely, yeah. Charles Martel Society. Yeah, this is something that even that Surviving Why America guy talked about. So yeah, I take it with a grain of salt. Yeah. You moving to China? No. Lots of Christian thinks America is equivalent to the church. Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Does anyone know if Mao was a Freemason or Skull and Bones? Some truth is implied that Mao was the latter. I've heard that too. I can't really say for sure, but I wouldn't doubt it at this point. As they are switching hosts. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. I think that the U.S. will become like it will become worse than African nations. It will. Hold on. Give me just a moment there. I'll try to wrap this up pretty soon. Hi, Joe. You know what I think is one of my biggest problems? I take people as they are. And I take people for their word. Sometimes you can read through somebody's bullshit, but I take people for what they are. Maybe that's a mischaracterization of things, but some people I just see as LARP, and I try to look for their ulterior motives. But I think in general, I try to take people as they are. And I think that's one of the biggest issues. When I see these people like McConnell, I take him at his word that he truly believes that he's changing something, you know, or he thinks that he's doing it. And I say to myself, it challenges my biases, this and that. But I say to myself, well, I appreciate that, Tinsel TQ. I do. I'm just somebody who I can believe, or I can at least accept a lot of ideas that, oh, well, this person's a Freemason, this and that. It's like, I don't even question that and say, oh, you're so stupid. No. But I've always simplified it to this question of, what are you going to do about it? What are you going to do about these things? And they don't have an answer. It doesn't matter whether it's, James Corbett, whether it's whoever else. And this is part of the reason why they lash out at each other, because they know they can't do anything about it. And they'd rather just lash out and create these enemies between each other, It's been a while since I've seen a Mr. Z video. It's not, yeah, it's true. I don't even doubt that many groups are controlled by other parties, this and that. Or you hear that BLM is controlled by Russia, or you hear that various white supremacist groups are controlled by Russia or Israel, this and that. I have no doubt. About it. And, there are plenty of people who get fooled into this and get suckered into it. And I don't know what the answer is. I mean, my answer is just to basically make what you can out of this system, get what you can out of it in whatever little way you can, You don't have to love money. You just love what you can get with the money and see it as an means to an end, A lot of people, they just think getting more money, or more things. But if you can practically use it, then, yeah. Raising awareness is a start, but there's heaps of unaware still, but I don't know if it will change anything with mass awareness. Yeah, that's the whole thing. It's going to have to impact people on a deep material level. I can even believe to a point, and I know some of my audience may be like, this is cringe, but I do believe climate change is an actual thing. But what I was trying to do in a video a couple days ago, but I'll say it here, is there is no concrete plan. There's all these different threads about what we should do, whether it's people like, I was going to say Grover Fur, but that's not it. I was going to say, I can't think of his name. Anyway, but people who want to, get everyone to ride the bus, or, we need to just get rid of the oil companies, this and that. It's like, okay, I can even agree with that to a point, but where do we go from here? How are we going to measure this success? And it's just like, in general, they don't have an answer, and it's just, I don't know. It's too easy for me to just feel disheartened, It's too easy for me to do that. I just feel like, okay, where are we going with this? I think that's also an issue with me. I think I'm too kind in many ways. I'm not as selfish as I need to be. And I think I need to, maybe so. I don't know. Yeah. Ask for your manager. Yeah, exactly. That's fair. Yes, Richard Wolf. Thank you. Yes, that's who I was. Yeah, Dr. Richard Wolf. That is correct. Yep. I guess I'll try to finish it up like this. I'm trying to speak a little bit quieter and have the mic right here. No good deed goes unpunished. Yeah, that's true. But I feel like the best way to handle these things, and I don't even say this like, oh, you should just ignore things and be completely ignorant, but just read more. I would say read more and try to pick out what you think is important, you know? And if you're wrong, you're wrong. But rely on your own intuition and not simply be driven even by people like me. You know, you should be able to say, man, I've tried to encourage this for, for the people who watch my videos to say, hey, Uncle Thomas, you're full of shit for that point. And I'll say, okay. I can be a fairly reasonable guy. I think I try not to take these too seriously. I've said this before, but this is a form of therapy for me. As cringe as that is to use that word, but that's how I feel about it. Found out that someone has been living in our garage today. Things are getting bad even in Canada. Wow, so absolutely. Oh yeah. I'm looking into nomadic lifestyle for reasons of escaping for the fall. Yeah. Escaping the fall. Oh, exactly. Yeah. Absolutely. People, there are folks out there. They're doing it. They're canning their vegetables. They're, trying to be off the grid as much as they can. Like I said, it's not really possible necessarily because you kind of have to at least somewhat be on the grid. You can probably get maybe 95% off the grid, I would say, and just scavenge things. But I think, I don't know, maybe that's my opinion, but is Mr. Z still on Rebel Yell? I have no idea. It has been so long since I've watched Mr. Z. That's another thing that I just kind of got bored with. It's like, yeah, alternative history, okay. Where am I going with this? Where am I going in my life? I don't know. I think that to a point, you have to be willing to read something interesting. Like I said, my problem is I've got all these political books, these very deep, sometimes very heart-wrenching books. I don't have a lot of more fun books to read. And maybe I'll do that. Maybe I'll get some more fun books to read. Take my mind off things a little bit. Not that doesn't mean, oh, well, I should just, give into the system. And no. I'm just saying is that being able to not get so concerned with that type of thing. Save as much as you can and try to find an exit strategy. Absolutely. Absolutely, GSP. This is one of those late night sort of, what the fuck am I doing? I've been on call for this job that I work at. And it's just frustrating. And I already know. It didn't take that long. It's barely been 3 or 4 months now. Or actually 2 or 3 months that I've worked here. And I know, in general, people, they do not care. They absolutely do not care about me. And yet I kind of feel obligated to some point, maybe because I've been programmed that way, of I have to try to do a good job and get my little attaboys. And it's just like, I do realize intellectually that it's bullshit, that it doesn't really matter. But because I know if I go down the route of just not giving a fuck, it's going to go too far. And you have to be able to balance not giving a fuck, but giving enough lip service to the bosses to keep working, Move 5 hours north of Toronto before it gets really bad. Oh, yeah. What's going on? Hello, 99. This is basically just kind of a random rant video about different stuff. We'll just kind of vibe with it, but yeah. There is so much inertia these days to take care of yourself and loved ones, survive and stay positive. Absolutely. Absolutely true. You got to take care of you and yours, however that is. If you can get yourself off the system, or at least get off the teat as much as you can, absolutely. Absolutely. At times I feel like I'm too far gone for that, but I'll encourage people to do that, I encourage people to try to return to tradition, argue. I know that's such a meme at this point, but yeah. No, I didn't get fired. Hello 99. I'm just tired. I didn't see the Vosh debate. Anything happen? I don't think anything did. Winky Dinks. It's him debating what's his name, Charlie Kirk. So it's like, who cares? It's just cringe bullshit at this point. I don't know. Honestly, I just feel like, landlords are walking filth. Yeah. Related to the rent crisis, have loads of landlords calling homeless people, dogs and so on. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Hello 99. Yeah. I imagine Oklahoma is going to be awful. Oh, man. Yeah, I can only imagine what's going to happen. Indeed, who cares about Kirk versus Vosh? Absolutely, yeah. I don't really think much, to be honest with you, but I think that I said this in the other video. I'll say it here as well, is that if lefties, if Marxist Leninists or whoever were smart enough, they would find a way to get these folks who are losing their houses or losing their apartments. They would motivate these folks in some way to say, yeah, this is capitalism's fault. Why don't you join us? Like I said, that's not going to get you killed off necessarily. It may get you whatever, but do something. I don't know. I know people are going to tell me, what are you doing? What are you doing for the movement, bro? And it's like, well, I'm surviving, aren't I? I'm working a job. I don't know how not to be a spur to try to get someone on my side, so to speak, That is true, though. They don't have much to lose. They don't. Giving up on the purpose of your work will conflict you morally and ethically. Just do what you think is right. Screw what others are. Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah, that's true, too. I think I'll wrap this up pretty soon because it is getting late. But I will say to you, people do what they have to do. And regardless of my opinions of people or whatever, people make their choices in this life. And if they think they're going to make a difference, then go for it. And you know what? I'm going to be bold. I'm going to be bold and say this, and people are going to be cringe. Yeah. Okay. Sure. Hello, 99. Sure. I'll read one of them off. Why not? Let me see here. Oh, good sleepy. Sorry. Yeah, it's already muted, so there we go. Let's see what we got here. Comments on this video. Oh, yeah. Oh, this is NBC News. Okay, let me read. Look, I was homeless 6 years, not because I had to be, but after I graduated high school, I moved out into my van. I lived in my van for 6 years, and my work allowed me to park on the premises. I saved all I could. I didn't drink or smoke. I wanted to save all I could to get ahead. I was perfectly happy. So being homeless isn't a big deal. Just because people are homeless doesn't mean they all need help or aren't productive citizens. Okay. Homeless on and off myself all the way into my late 20s. A survivor. I like your story. If you can survive on less than the typical person, you, my friend, are a solid survivor. Yes, sir. Okay, well, I'll look further down. They should have just sent that money out directly instead of filtering it through a system that is ineffective. Okay. Don't worry, I'm trying to. Many good landlords moving out of the rental business, closing shops, selling, and moving on. Look, people, neither Democrats nor Republicans care about you, therefore, they're donors. I think landlord takes more hits than tenants. When tenants can pay the rent, the landlord has come up with the money. If I don't pay my mortgage, the bank home government don't help me. He helps freeloaded people out there. Okay. Uh, 100 years ago, 90% of homes were owned by individuals, 10% by banks. Now, homes 90% bank owned. Yeah. Dems controlled all three branches but couldn't get this passed. Maybe they didn't want to. Yeah, I think, a lot of people are waking up to this. I'm sorry. Let's see what else we got here. This has been a wake up call to many landlords. I'm sure many of them are going to get out of the rental business. They never expected that a renter could just stop paying and that their hands would be tied to evict them. The state's just sitting on the money that was supposed to go to landlords is obscene. I'm not a fan of kicking everyone out. The person who owns the buildings or housing has to pay his mortgage, pay them first, then renter can stay longer. I thought they were all getting boosted unemployment over the last 18 months, so why can't they pay the rent? Yeah. I think I can speak for everyone here. We want to do whatever it takes for you to survive. Well, I appreciate that, GSP. I do. I do appreciate that. I do. I'm going to try to work out some more and try to go to bed earlier. I'm going to try to do more reading. As much of an addict as I am for YouTube and whatnot, I realize to a point it's unproductive. And it's the same arguments over and over. It's not really going anywhere. I do realize it. But anywho, I will try to make some content here and there of stuff that maybe is a little bit out of the new or maybe a slightly different take. Time to buy stock in cardboard boxes. Many will soon be living in them. 18 months to find a job. Jobs everywhere. And they don't pay a dime to landlord. Solution, pay rent. What I want to know about those that are pushing to end the eviction moratorium, are you going to provide housing for all the families that will be affected? Hell no. Perhaps one of the requirements to get elected to Congress is to spend 3 months at minimum wage and try to support their families on that living wage. If anyone goes and looks at all the welfare EBT programs and $9,800 stimulus checks for those with gaggles of kids, there has been no excuse not to pay rent. This is a common issue for landlords. If you went and blew it on weed, cars, and TVs and refused to work like so many did, then you earned what you have coming. All deadbeats on this go-around will have a harder time finding a new rental. Chulo Mudfoot. What a name. I'm not a landlord or homeowner and have paid my rent on time every month. How are the mom and pop landlords going to wait anymore? How long are they supposed to wait? Many rely on rent to put towards their mortgage and or other basic bills. Government has taken too long to pay these people. I don't blame landlords. Lol, these were most likely the ones that never paid rent property to begin with, or the new non-citizens allowed to invade. Here's just saying that should be taught as soon as a person is born. A lack of planning on your part doesn't constitute an emergency on mine. Well, the thing is that the U.S. government can barely plan for itself. So you could plan all day, but your plans don't necessarily involve, those jobs pay 10 to, yeah. The fuck is wrong with Americans? Yeah. Absolutely. Thank you so much, GSB. I appreciate that. Went on a nice hike yesterday as well. That sounds good. Maybe I'll do that. Maybe I'll do that on Friday when I get off. Well, actually, be Saturday technically. I think that's about it, though. I went for about 40 minutes. I think we kind of touched on various subjects. I do realize to a point that I've repeated stuff over and over. I guess it's just these continuing issues that happen. I think it's worth talking about. You know, is there any reason why Americans are like this? Because those comments piss me off. It has to do with programming, a lot of it, where they think that if they continue to pay and they pay on time, that they're good little boys and girls. The fact is that the United States and capitalism itself is built on debt. That's the whole thing. Companies run in debt quite often. And the thing is, your credit is better when you're in debt than when you're not. And that's the truth. As long as you're continuing to pay, that's the whole problem of this system. Like I say, you can go ahead and talk about, the echoes or whatever. Yeah, my brother heard the chat. Hey, that's Uncle Tom. Oh, I appreciate that, GSP. Yeah. Debt is currency now. Absolutely. It is. Yeah. But people just think, oh, if you just pay things off, then, or in my day, I had to do that. I think that people don't realize what it's like, and all you can do is just nod your head at them and just say, oh, yes, sir. Yeah, that was a heck of a time, wasn't it? Yeah. You just keep nodding your head and then you just walk away. You're just like, old boomer, that's all you can do, That's what you should do anyway. You can't just say, get in an argument with them because there's no point. Nothing of value will be, gotten. Yeah. Who owns the debt? Who controls it? Bootstrap, BTFO, yeah. Then you have those idiots that say bootstraps. Oh, exactly, yeah. You can thank Alexander Hamilton for the national debt. Yeah. What's going on, Wicked Energy? How are you? I'm gonna go. Like I said, I was gonna try to wrap this up pretty soon, but I'll go for a couple more minutes. I think it's just it gets tiring, and I think I have to find an outlet because I know it's going to continue to get worse. I cannot just be silent and everything else like that. So I have to find a way to vent, and maybe going to a gym will help. And I know you can say what you will about gyms, but I think that will be better for me to go to the gym and do that. Not a YMCA. I'm tired of going to the YMCA. Maybe I'll go to a gym and just do that. Maybe that'll improve my outlook a little bit. And not just deal with the goobers that I work with, for 40 plus hours a week. Can't sleep, so I'm watching this. Oh, yeah, that's good. Yeah. I can't sleep, and I probably won't be able to sleep when I'm done with this, but yeah. You think the 6 million people getting kicked out will finally break the system pretty soon later? I would hope so, combined with the return of COVID-19. It's a tough choice, isn't it? I think a lot of those folks are going to be ignored by the system as long as they can, and until they start making noise. The thing is that once again, that kind of goes back to maybe what people say about the Prussian system and being obedient, this and that. The thing is that will people lash out against the system? Will they become bigger squatters, or will they be organized and actually do some real damage? I don't know. That's the real question, isn't it? I don't know. It doesn't look like it because people would rather, go for their internet clout or worry about being, saying the right pronouns and everything else, I don't know. Even though I wasn't born until the 95, I'm wondering how Americans fell for the trickle-down economics myth. I would say it was just Reagan being clever. That's what I would say. It was just Reagan using his acting ability to make it seem like he, was going to make it great. That's what I would say. A friend said, jokes on China, they owe our debt. I said there's lots of countries in Africa whose debt some other countries owes too. Absolutely. Yeah. Is it official that they're getting kicked out, or will Biden extend? Biden will extend. I believe it is extended through October 3rd. Winky dinks. So they're kicking the can down the road. But yeah, basically, they're just going to keep it going for a little bit longer. There's no permanent solution, though. That's the problem. Yeah, it's gonna get bad. Yeah, look at all the people who cared about Chris Chan. Then look at how many people pay attention to the economics. Oh, absolutely. Well, because it's easier to talk about Chris Chan, and it's easy to be angry at that. It's like, okay, yeah. Oh, you mean I'm trying to think of it. I can't even think of the word now. Incest is acceptable. Nobody wants incest, so it's easier to be angry about that, and everyone can say, yeah, that's fucked up. But yeah, actors are great liars. Oh yeah, absolutely, they are. America is a country of opportunities, and many opportunists still think there are opportunities. Oh, absolutely. There are many people who think that, and it's unfortunate, but it's true. I feel like someone's going to come knocking on the door and being like, hey, can you keep it down? So I feel like we should get close to an end here. But yeah, Chris Chan will cause a collapse somehow eventually. Yeah, I heard that from, I can't think of his name, but basically the one that was talking about comparing Chris Chan to not Ride the Tiger. I'm trying to think of it, but basically was saying that, yeah, or I cannot think of it. I'm sorry. This is one of the it's the sundown time, as people would say with Alzheimer's, right? It's the sundown time. Hold on, but luckily I have the internet, so I can BS my way through. Let me see here. Evola. Okay, what is it? What is it called? Let me see if I can figure it out, but I may not be able to. Let me see. I have a feeling I won't be able to. Let me see. Oh boy. Someone got it? Let's see, de Blasio's making it so that if you don't have proof of vaccination, that you won't eat at restaurants in New York City. Oh, absolutely. Yeah, it's getting bad. If food or utilities are reduced or halted, it's not going to affect the government. Even if it's their doing, it will affect us. Oh, absolutely. Yep, absolutely. Pagan imperialism. Wow. Huh. That Evola came up with a lot of books, didn't he? I'm sure a lot of it was crap. A lot of it was just LARPing that people read. I'm sorry. I'm not a fan of Evola. I'm sorry. I don't know if people are generally fans of Evola, but yeah. Evola to me is just cringe. I'm sorry. I think that he was one of these guys who just read so much that he just kind of, you know, he was just kind of one of those guru type of LARPers, Yeah. Low F New York. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. If America survives, the biggest question will be Chris Chan will compete in the Olympics. Oh, yeah. Absolutely. There's nothing you can lose by prepping the best you can now. Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I do agree. Kali Yuga. That's it. I knew I saw it. Yeah, the Kali Yuga. And that Chris Chan represents Kali Yuga, and kind of like the amalgamation of the United States, of kind of like a failed system, this and that. And then, yeah, arguably that is true. Is that Chris Chan is an avatar for a failed America, and that he's the worst aspects of America. Much like people said that about Trump. Oh, Trump is the worst version of America. But it's true. Chris Chan represents somebody that was, taken in, a family that was screwed up. A dad that was halfway decent, a mom that manipulated him. A weird sort of Christian belief mixed with his, very, incelish type feelings and everything else. It's just kind of, yeah. A lot of people are using online for a sense of community and or distraction, myself included. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Once again, I don't disagree. I've no decided to visit any city different from when I was younger. Oh, yeah. I don't either. I think that he just got destroyed by circumstance. Hold on. Somebody's going to come in, I think. I hear a door opening. Well, I could go on and on ranting about stuff and pretending to, say something insightful when really a lot of this is recycled from what I've said before. Hopefully I can say something a little more intelligent and slightly more original in the upcoming videos that I hope I will make. But yeah, and most people being Americans expect a crazy guy to be the same as they are. Yeah, that's true. I think that's all I have to say, though, folks. Is there anything else y'all want me to talk about or discuss? Like I say, we've seen the failure of Congress. We've seen the United States, just kind of, we're slowly going backwards. We're trying to give the image that we're still number one, but deep down we know that we're going down. I think Americans know it. You can go ahead and talk about the 50s or the 60s. We've been going off fumes for so long that we don't have anything else to go on, Yep. You as well. You too, folks. I think I'm going to go ahead and end it here, though. Hopefully y'all enjoyed this. See you later. Goodbye. Police having assault rifles aimed at homeless people. I have not, but I'm sure it's true. Yeah. Meh. That's what I would say about Keith Woods. Meh. He had some good points, but in general, I think he's just kind of a goofy sort of guy. That's my opinion. Yeah. Anywho, that's all I got to say. Anyway, see you later, and goodbye, good night, or good day, wherever you are.